What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, YouTube? Right now, you're hanging with Mr. Jackson. Story time. Enough that, yo. We gonna get in some clips, y'all. Bringing up history again, y'all. Bringing up history again, y'all. How we were lied to. How we were manipulated for years. But people waking up, y'all. People is waking up now, y'all. We seeing the truth, y'all. The truth of everything that we're in this world that they try to delete from us. It's coming out in the open, y'all. But enough of that, let's go ahead and get in this clip. Let's get it.
For those of you who took the shot, for those who took the shot, and for those who are contemplating taking the shot, you were promoted to. The FDA classifies a vaccine as a drug, right? Yes, sir. So you were promoted to through a drug. So people became drug pushers without knowing it. Every celebrity, every politician who got up there talking about, hey, I took it, you should take it too.
Yep.
You are a dope dealer.
Dope dealer.
Sir,
dope dealer.
You were promoted to, you were told it was safe, you were told it was effective. But let me go ahead and bring up Mr. Fauci.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh. 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 Now, what I say with these celebrities, man, do not believe in some of these celebrities, y'all. Some of these celebrities do anything for money, y'all. They'll do anything for money. They'll advertise anything for money. And you will go out there and do it. And then after a while, you be the one looking dumb. Like, why did I do this? That happened to me too a couple times, man. Do not do it, yo. People these days, yo, they don't care, man. They mess up their reputation for the money. They don't care. They want that money.
I felt some heat out here. Mr. Fauci, you made the statement that none of these shots will prevent transmission. You also stated that none of these shots will prevent you from getting the virus. So you're telling the people to take a shot that will not prevent you from getting the virus and that will not prevent you from transmitting the virus if you do get it. So my question to you, Mr. Fauci, is what the hell are we taking? What will be the purpose, guys? The ultimate agenda is two things. One, profit, which we all know is the pharmaceutical companies and agencies' middle name. The word pharmaceutical comes from the Greek word pharmakia, which is in the Bible. Pharmakia means sorcery and or witchcraft. So when we are fighting against the pharmaceutical evil, not every employee is evil, but the system itself, the sorcery and witchcraft, is what we are fighting against. Does that make sense? I'm saying this last point here, which is you are now and have been experimented on. Number one. Number two, the medical professionals, those of you who did not do your...
This is the same as video gamers. These new games that come out, yo, they use you as test dummies. That's why a lot of these games that come out fail, because they're not ready to be put out, yo. The same thing with the medicine. They use you as test dummies.
Due diligence to really dig, and you just listen to fraud sheet. You are being experimented on. I'm sorry to tell you this. The Johnson & Johnson shot has aborted fetal tissue from aborted babies from the retina as well as the kidney cells. Johnson & Johnson, you playing too much. Johnson & Johnson, you had over 25,000 cases of cancer, racking up to over $4 billion of lawsuits. Why should we trust you when you can't even get talcum powder right? Why should we trust Moderna, the youngest one in the group, ain't never created no vaccine, and this is not even a vaccine? How can we get? We trust these some gangsters, man. You gotta understand this. We are
they say we gangsters
on by institutions at high levels, so we ain't got nothing on them.
From the very beginning, she appeared like a blessing sent from heaven. Her name was Tina, and when she stepped off the plane in Burkina Faso for the first time, her smile glowed with the warmth of hope. She had come from Europe, a world of comfort and wealth, but she claimed her heart had guided her to this land of resilience and strength. She told everyone she had come to serve. She promised to dedicate her life to helping widows, orphans, and struggling farmers. Her words carried sincerity, her gestures radiated kindness, and her every action seemed to confirm the purity of her mission. Within months, her name spread like wildfire. Villagers whispered about her generosity. Mothers lifted their hands at night to pray for her health. Children shouted her name joyfully whenever her car rolled into their dusty roads. They called her Tantina, their beloved mother from afar, and they chased after her car, laughing and singing. She would laugh with them, toss candies from the window and wave with that same glowing smile. To the people she was no stranger. She was family. Her organization and NGO she had founded grew quickly. It provided food for the hungry, paid the fees of orphans so they could go to school, and gave small loans to women who dreamed of starting businesses. Newspapers praised her, ministers admired her, and ordinary villagers felt protected by her presence. But behind her glowing smile, there was a secret so dark it could crush the heart of a nation. Tina's NGO was not what it seemed. Hidden under the banner of compassion, a web of greed was being spun. Her trucks did not always carry rice and medicine. Beneath the sacks of grain and boxes of supplies, there were hidden compartments, and in those compartments there was gold, raw, precious gold smuggled from the mines of Burkina Faso. The truth was terrifying. She was not alone. Powerful men in distant countries wearing suits in Europe and America whispered her name. They had sent her to this land not to save but to steal. The nation, rich in natural resources, had long suffered under foreign exploitation, and Tina was another hand stretched out to rob it. For more than a year, her operations ran undetected.
Now, this video is real long, y'all. I played a little bit of this video because I wanted y'all to see what was going on, y'all. So she went there to go steal gold. She wasn't feeding the hungry, y'all. And they lie about how poor Africa is to us, y'all. How they kept putting the poor kids and stuff on TV and stuff. They lied to us. I got another video, y'all. I'm going to show you it. Probably not this next clip, but the clip after that. But we're about to get into the next clip.
Hello,
I'm just going
my name
to
is
show
Ibrahim Traore. You might know me as a young military leader, someone you call a radical or an anti-Western dictator, but today I'm here to tell the truth. I'm speaking directly to big news companies like CNN, BBC, France 24, New York Times, Washington Post, The Guardian, and Le Monde. I'm watching you. I'm keeping track of every lie you tell, every story you twist, and every truth you hide. This time, you can't turn off my voice. You can't shut off your cameras or edit my words. The world you used to control is gone. Millions of people will hear me now, without your filters, without your lies. I'm 34 years old. I grew up hearing your stories about Africa. As a child, I watched your news on TV. The pictures were always the same. Hungry children with flies on their faces, dry lands, wars, and death. You told us this is Africa. You made us feel ashamed of our home, our people, and our land.
They did that because they wanted y'all to donate, and when y'all was donating, y'all, they was keeping that money. They was keeping that money.
We believed you because we were young and didn't know better. But as I grew older, I started to read, ask questions, and learn. I realized the Africa you showed us wasn't real. It was a story you made up. You wrote a script for us, and it was full of lies. The false story of Africa. You, the big news companies, have shown Africa in a bad way for years. You make it look like Africans are not human, like we are wild people who can't take care of ourselves. You show us as poor, helpless, and lost, waiting for you to save us. Every day your TV screens and newspapers talk about hunger, war, sickness, corruption, terror, and chaos. These are the only words you use for Africa. You never talk about hope, success, growth, strength, honor, pride, or victories. Why? Because those words don't fit the story you want to tell. Let me ask you, have you ever made Africa's successes your big headlines? Have you told the world about Rwanda's amazing technology growth? Have you shown Ethiopia's huge project to plant millions of trees? Have you praised Botswana for its strong democracy? Have you talked about Kenya's smart business ideas and young entrepreneurs? No, you haven't. Those stories don't fit your plan. In your story, Africa can't be successful. If Africa is doing well, how can you justify taking our resources? If we're not poor and weak, why would we need your help? If we're not backward, how can you look down on us? I want to ask the people who run your newsrooms, have you ever thought about why Africa, a land full of riches, has so many poor people? Let me give you some facts, real numbers that show the truth. Africa's wealth and poverty. Africa has so much wealth, but our people don't see it. Here are some examples. Cobalt. Africa has 70% of the world's cobalt. Cobalt is used in your cell phones, computers, and electric cars. Most of it comes from Congo, but the people in Congo can't afford phones or computers. Why? Platinum. Africa has 90% of the world's platinum. Platinum is used in car parts, electronics, and medical tools. It comes from South Africa, but South Africans struggle with unemployment and poverty. Gold. Africa produces 30% of the world's gold. Countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, and Tanzania have huge gold mines, but our people live in poverty while gold flows out of our lands. Diamonds. Africa supplies 65% of the world's diamonds. Countries like Botswana, Angola, Congo, and Sierra Leone produce billions of dollars worth of diamonds. But miners in those countries earn just $1 a day. Uranium. Africa has 35% of the world's uranium, which powers nuclear plants. Niger, Namibia, and South Africa produce it. Your cities, like Paris, have electricity because of our uranium. but our villages stay dark. You ask, why is Africa poor? That's the wrong question. The real question is, how is Africa kept poor when it's so rich? The answer is simple. Colonialism never ended. It just changed its face. How colonialism continues. In the past, you came to Africa with armies and took our lands. Now you come with companies and contracts. You used to rule us with whips and guns. Now you control us with loans and deals. Let me give you examples with names, numbers, and facts. Lancor. This is a Swiss company that mines cobalt in Congo. In 2022, they made $256 billion in revenue. But they paid Congo only $500 million in taxes. That's just 0.2% of their earnings. Is that fair? Rio Tinto. This British-Australian company mines bauxite in Guinea. They take out 20 million tons every year. What does Guinea get? Pollution and sickness. Total Energies. This French oil company works in Angola, Nigeria, and Congo. In 2022, they made $36 billion in profit. But they leave behind old, dirty pipelines and poor communities. Anglo-American. This company started in South Africa but is now based in London. They take diamonds, platinum, and iron. What's left in South Africa? Millions of unemployed miners. These are just a few examples. There's more you don't see. Secret deals, hidden bank accounts, and tricks to avoid taxes. Every year, $88 billion leaves Africa illegally. That's money stolen from our people. You write about the $45 billion in aid that comes to Africa, but you don't talk about the wealth that leaves. Africa isn't receiving aid, it's giving aid to the world. The system that keeps Africa poor. There's a system that keeps Africa poor, and it works like this. Create corruption. You bribe our leaders. You give them secret bank accounts and promise them a fancy life. You send their children to your schools. In return, they sell our resources to you. Make unfair deals. You get long contracts. 50 years, even 99 years to take our resources. You ask for tax breaks and ignore rules about protecting the environment or workers' rights. Control infrastructure. You take over our ports, airports, and railways, but only to move resources from mines to ships. You don't build roads for our villages or bring electricity to our schools. Provide security. You set up private security companies and arm them. If people protest, you call them rebels or terrorists. Silence the media. You pay local journalists to stay quiet. You stop voices that speak against you. You show the world only the bad news about Africa, like wars and unrest. This system has been working for over 100 years. You, the big news companies, are part of it. Your biggest advertisers are the same companies that take Africa's resources, oil companies, mining companies, and arms dealers. You take their money, so you protect their interests. The truth about France, Britain, America, and China. Let me tell you about the systems used by powerful countries to control Africa. France and the CFA France. 14 African countries still use a currency controlled by France called the CFA France. Half of these countries' money is kept in the French treasury. France charges us to use our own money. Every year, $500 billion in resources flows from Africa to France. When France gives $10 billion in aid, you make it big news. But you don't talk about the $500 billion they take. Britain and money laundering. London is the world's center for hiding stolen money. Africa's wealth is moved through places like Jersey, Guernsey, the Cayman Islands, and the Virgin Islands, all controlled by Britain. You don't write about this. America and military control. The U.S. has 46 military bases in Africa through its Africa Command. They say it's for security, but it's really about controlling our resources. Drones fly over our skies every day watching us. They say they're fighting terrorists, but they target leaders who stand up for Africa. China's new game. China says they want to help Africa by building roads and giving loans, but in return they take 99-year contracts for our ports, mines, and farmland. Countries like Sri Lanka and Zambia are now trapped in debt to China. Is this really win-win? You don't write about these things because you're not free. You're controlled by billionaires. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Rupert Murdoch controls Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, and the Times. Carlos Slim, a Mexican billionaire, is a major shareholder in the New York Times. These people didn't get rich by helping Africa. They got rich by exploiting places like Africa and Latin America. Your editors come from elite schools like Harvard, Yale, Oxford, and Cambridge. They share the same ideas and biases. Your reporters in Africa often don't speak our languages, like Swahili, Hausa, Yoruba, or Amharic. They can't talk to our people, so they rely on Western diplomats and NGOs for information. How can you call that fair reporting? The heroes they silenced. Let me tell you about the African leaders you've ignored or lied about. Patrice Lumumba, he was the leader of Congo, killed on January 17, 1961. The CIA and Belgian mercenaries were involved. They dissolved his body in acid and kept his teeth as souvenirs. In 2022, Belgium returned one tooth to his family after 61 years. You called it chaos in Congo, but didn't investigate the killers, or Belgium's crimes. Thomas Sankara, he was my hero, the leader of Burkina Faso, killed on October 15th. Sankara vaccinated 2.5 million children, planted 10 million trees, raised literacy from 13% to 73%, gave women equal rights, banned harmful practices, and fought corruption. He refused to pay Africa's unfair debts to the West. France supported his killer, Blaise Compaoré. You called it a military coup, but didn't tell the world about Sankara's dreams or successes. Muammar Gaddafi. Yes, he was a dictator, but he did a lot for Libya. Under him, Libya had a high income, free healthcare, free education, and cheap fuel. He built a huge irrigation project to make the desert green. His biggest dream was a united Africa with its own bank and currency. He was killed on October 20th, 2011, after NATO attacked Libya. Hillary Clinton laughed about it. Now Libya has 3 governments, civil war, and even slave markets. You call this democracy? These leaders were killed because they stood up for Africa. They wanted us to control our own wealth and future, but you didn't tell their stories. You called them dictators, or said their countries were chaotic. You didn't show their successes, or ask who was behind their deaths. Africa is rising. I'm speaking today because it's time for the truth. The world you controlled, where you could hide Africa's story, is gone. People are waking up. We're tired of your lies. We're tired of being shown as poor and helpless. Africa is rich, not just in resources, but in people, ideas, and strength. We're building our future, and we won't let you write our story anymore. I know speaking out is risky. Telling the truth might cost me my life like it did for Lumumba, Sankara, and Gaddafi. But I'm not afraid. Africa is rising, and we need everyone to join us. If you're inspired by this message, share it, talk about it. Tell the world the truth about Africa. Support leaders who fight for our people, like I'm trying to do in Burkina Faso. Together, we can change the story. We can show the world who we really are, not the Africa you see on CNN or BBC, but the...
Gee. And I believe it too, y'all. I believe this, y'all. I believe everything. I know it's AI. Some parts is AI and some parts probably was him. Like the last part probably him. And the beginning part was him. But I could tell the voice when he changed up. But I believe that stuff is happening, y'all. And they taking so much money illegal. Like billions of dollars illegal. From Africa, y'all. I don't think Africa is poor, y'all, because most of the stuff the resources they get from Africa, y'all. And I don't think he lying about that. But if y'all want to see more videos like this, like, comment, and subscribe, man. And I see you. Peace. I'm out.